Familiars are specific spirits that aid a particular witch in matters of magic. A familiar is not necessarily an animal, although commonly they are, and a familiar may present itself to you in the spirit realm alone, meaning that you may have a special, energizing, and informative relationship with an animal that doesn't actually exist in your physical world. This spirit may come to you in dreams or in meditation, or simply while your imagination is at play. Familiars are usually not your pet animal, simply because the relationship that most people have with a pet is founded in mutual love that is familial, but not conducive to the magical aid that defines a familiar. However, sometimes a witch's familiar is indeed the witch's pet animal. It certainly does happen, and quite often when someone feels very compelled to bond with an animal, this spiritual connection is perfectly fit for the role of a familiar. The Stellar's J is symbolic of love, self-appreciation, and fulfilling your calling. It is a message from the spirits for you to keep going. Grosbeak symbolize happiness in your family, among friends, and with new acquaintances. My cat Lily, I would consider her a familiar, although she can be a nuisance sometimes. She does aid me in my magical practice. I also have animal allies, and those are the birds. Those are the juncos and black-headed grosbeak, which is a phenomenal bird, and I find myself so excited every time that I see it. I just get this rush of emotion and energy. I give them seeds and I give them a variety of feed and treats. I feel like this is part of the spiritual agreement. It's not just that I'm inspired by them and kind of, in a way, taking energy from them. Absolutely not. And I'm giving something to them, and I really get something from them in return, and that is the inspiration and the motivation and just that sense of awe. I just feel so present, and it's such a gift, not to be bothered by any kind of nagging thoughts or worries. They really pull me into the present moment. That's why I would consider these birds my allies. I am gonna walk you through this familiar consecration spell, and we will see if it is successful. Step 1 is to cast a circle large enough to hold you and your familiar. And there are many ways to cast a circle. I'm going to use catmint. Step 2 is to burn frankincense just outside of the perimeter of that circle. And I don't really feel comfortable burning any kind of incense around my cat, and I don't recommend it. Cats and animals can be very sensitive to incense and essential oils and anything that's very aromatic. That is not something that is safe for them. Their sense of smell is so much greater than ours as humans. Often a familiar or a pet animal, they'll endure so much just to be near you. So even if that incense is harming them, they might not wish to escape that situation. situation because they just want nothing more than to be around you. Instead of burning frankincense, I'm just going to put some sprigs of catnip into some fresh water, and that is going to be my replacement for the burning frankincense in this spell. Step 3 is simply to sit in the circle with your familiar, and that is until you feel that the consecration is complete. That's all for this very simple spell. Just kind of a ceremony. It may not sound like a lot. The act of consecrating is something very special, and all that is needed is the formality of deciding that this is consecration, and we are going to engage in this formal bonding. You're just kind of sitting in a designated space with your familiar, and you're essentially meditating on that bond. After attempting a consecration ceremony with my cat Lily, I have to face the truth, which is that she really is not my familiar. And although I love her very much, I am perfectly okay with this. She may inspire me and comfort me through a process, but I'm not divining on her spirit or receiving any guidance from her, if that makes sense. And something that I found so interesting is after performing this, or attempting this ceremony with my cat Lily, instead of having a stronger sort of psychic bond with her, I have felt a stronger spiritual bond with all of the animals around me. And I found 8 baby rats that I saved from the cat. Meanwhile, 2 bats made their way into the house, and 1 little hummingbird, as well as a chipmunk. Then a little junco made its way into the house through the door and just kind of checked it out, and then he just hopped right back through the door. A beautiful shamanic interpretation of the symbolism of the junco, as expressed by Ina Woolcott, is that the junco is a symbol of diversity and adaptability. She goes on to say, Junco's medicine includes interspecies communication, diversity, the ability to survive, adaptability, and expression. The human's voice is the expression of spirit, and because of the junco's playful character, we will be shown how to express the truth of spirit in a joyous and lighthearted manner. If this is your power animal, or your familiar, or your spirit animal, you will frequently find yourself in the company of people where precious lessons about equality and communication are learned. So pay attention to how you express yourself. Are you respecting your truth and voicing it adequately? Or are you talking just to hear yourself talk? If the latter is true, find the reason behind for this incessant talk, and then ask the junco to carry it away on its wings, releasing it into an opportunity, creating movement and change in one or more aspects of your life. You will be pushed into new avenues with your strengths enhanced, as well as your shortcomings. It will be revealed how to blend everything together in a balanced and harmonious style.